June 2026. The greatest stage in football, the FIFA World Cup, is being held jointly by 3 nations for the very first time in history. The stage, 16 cities spread across North America, from the lands of ancient civilizations in Mexico to the birthplace of American independence, all the way to the multicultural cities of Canada. Each city carries its own unique history, stretching back hundreds or even thousands of years. Today, we travel through the 16 host cities of the World Cup, discovering the true face of each destination. Our journey begins in Mexico, in the south of the North American continent. Our first stop is the capital, Mexico City. Perched at an elevation of 2,240 meters, this vast metropolis is home to more than 22 million people, the largest megacity in North America. The history of this place dates back to 1325, when the Aztec people, guided by divine revelation, built their ideal city, Tenochtitlan, on an island in the middle of a lake. At its peak, it held a population of 200,000, making it one of the largest cities on Earth. But in 1521, it was destroyed by the Spanish conquistador Hernán Cortés. Mexico City was built upon its ruins. After 300 years of colonial rule, Mexico finally gained independence, and this city became its heart. The eagle perched on a cactus at the center of the Mexican flag is none other than the founding legend of Tenochtitlan itself. Next, we head to Guadalajara, Mexico's second-largest city. Founded by Spain in 1542, this city is known as the spiritual home of Mexican culture. The reason is clear: mariachi music, beloved around the world, and tequila were both born in this region. In 1810, Miguel Hidalgo, the hero of Mexico's independence movement, established the first revolutionary government right here in Guadalajara. Today, the city is also recognized as a major tech hub, nicknamed the Silicon Valley of Mexico. Every September, mariachi bands from across the globe gather here for a grand festival. The final Mexican city on our tour is Monterrey, an industrial powerhouse in the north. Some call it the city with the greatest wealth in all of Latin America. When it was first established in 1596, Monterrey was nothing more than a small settlement in the wilderness. Its transformation came in 1882, when a railway connection to Texas was completed. Foreign capital poured in, and by 1900, a steel mill had opened its doors. Since then, Monterrey has grown into a major center for steel, cement, and brewing industries. Its industrial landscape, stretching against the backdrop of the magnificent Sierra Madre Mountains, is a powerful symbol of Mexico's economic strength. Next up is Houston, a city known as Space City. Founded in 1836 and named after Texas Revolution hero Sam Houston, the city was transformed in 1901 when oil was discovered nearby, making it the center of the American petroleum industry. Then came July 20th, 1969, the day humanity first set foot on the moon. The first words astronaut Neil Armstrong sent back to Earth were, "Houston, Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed." Home to NASA's Johnson Space Center, Houston is also recognized as the most ethnically and racially diverse major city in the United States. Our first American city is Dallas, in the heart of Texas. Starting as a small settlement in 1841, Dallas exploded in growth in 1873 when it became a railway junction where 2 major rail lines crossed. The population nearly tripled in just 1 year. Then came November 22, 1963. President John F. Kennedy, the 35th President of the United States, was struck by gunfire on this city's main street. Dealey Plaza, where it happened, still draws visitors from around the world as a witness to history. Today, Dallas has reinvented itself as a cultural city, home to the largest arts district in the entire United States. Kansas City, often called the heartland of America. In the mid-1800s, this was the launchpad of the American frontier. The Oregon Trail, the Santa Fe Trail, the California Trail. Countless pioneers heading west gathered first in Kansas City. Then came the 1920s and 30s. During Prohibition, this city refused to sleep. Jazz flourished here, producing legendary musicians like Count Basie and Charlie Parker. Kansas City's world-class barbecue culture and its famous collection of fountains are also sources of enormous local pride. Facing the Pacific, Los Angeles is the largest city in California. Its recorded history begins in 1781, when Spain established a settlement called the Town of the Queen of the Angels. The original 44 settlers were a mixed group of African, Mexican, and Spanish families. As the 20th century arrived, film companies were drawn by the warm climate and wide-open land, relocating one after another. Hollywood became the entertainment capital of the world. Today, the greater LA metro area is home to more than 13 million people from over 140 countries, making it one of the most diverse cities on Earth. Next, we visit the San Francisco Bay Area, the epicenter of the world's technology revolution. The turning point for this region came in 1849 with the gold rush. Overnight, people flooded in from across the globe, creating a dynamic, risk-taking culture where diverse ideas collided. In 1891, railroad magnate Leland Stanford founded Stanford University, and from here grew a culture that said, "Never fear failure." By the late 20th century, the semiconductor industry had taken root, giving birth to Silicon Valley. Apple, Google, Nvidia, they all continue to change the world from right here. Seattle, known as the Emerald City, is nestled in the Pacific Northwest, surrounded by Puget Sound and the snow-capped peak of Mount Rainier. From its founding in 1851, Seattle grew on the back of the gold rush, logging, and fishing. Then in 1916, aviation giant Boeing was born here. During World War II, Seattle became a major producer of military aircraft, earning the nickname Jet City. Time moved on, and Amazon, Microsoft, and Starbucks emerged from these streets. Nirvana's grunge rock shook the world from this city. Seattle has always been, and will always be, the city that shapes the next era. Crossing the border into Canada, our first stop is Vancouver on the Pacific coast. First landed upon by Spanish explorers in 1791, this place was designated as the western terminus of the Canadian Pacific Railway in 1886 and rapidly grew into the gateway of the West. Today, 42% of the population are immigrants, with a high proportion of Asian communities from China, Hong Kong, and India, also known as Hollywood North. Vancouver is a major center for film production. Surrounded by majestic mountains and ocean, its scenery is among the most beautiful in all of North America. Toronto, Canada's largest city. Built in 1793 by the British Lieutenant Governor as the town of York, Toronto is now recognized by the United Nations as one of the most diverse cities in the world. More than 250 languages are spoken within the city limits. Nearly half the population was born abroad. Toronto is home to over 200 ethnic communities, making it the most multicultural city on the planet and a source of immense national pride for Canada. The cradle of American independence. That is Boston. In 1630, Puritans who had crossed from England in search of religious freedom founded this city. It would eventually become the center of resistance against British rule. December 1773. Tea chests were hurled from British ships moored in the harbor. The Boston Tea Party. This act of defiance lit the fuse, and the following year, the American Revolutionary War began. Home to Harvard University. Founded in 1636, Boston continues to stand as one of the world's great centers of academic excellence. New York, one of the world's greatest metropolitan areas. Its origins trace back to 1624, when the Dutch established a colony called New Amsterdam. Taken over by the British and renamed after the Duke of York, New York became the first capital of the United States in 1785. Wall Street, Ellis Island, Harlem, Broadway. The layered cultures brought by wave after wave of immigrants from every corner of the globe have made this city the most vibrant place on earth. And this World Cup's final match will be played right here at MetLife Stadium, just outside New York City. Philadelphia, the sacred birthplace of the American nation. In 1682, Quaker William Penn founded this city on the ideal of brotherly love, with religious freedom and tolerance at its very core. On July 4, 1776, the Declaration of Independence was signed right here at Independence Hall. In 1787, the United States Constitution was drafted in the same building. Proclaim liberty throughout all the land unto all the inhabitants thereof. These words engraved on the Liberty Bell still ring out the spirit of America's founding from this very city. Atlanta, the great city of the American South, was born in 1837 as a railway terminus, simply called Terminus. During the Civil War, Atlanta served as the Confederate supply hub. In 1864, it was captured and set ablaze by Union General William Sherman. But the city rose like a phoenix from the ashes, growing into the largest city in the South. In 1929, Martin Luther King Jr. was born here, making Atlanta the spiritual home of the civil rights movement. The headquarters of Coca-Cola and CNN are also among this city's greatest points of pride. Miami, often called the capital of Latin America. Founded in 1896 as a tiny town of just 300 people, Miami holds a unique distinction. It is the only major American city founded by a woman. Businesswoman Julia Tuttle brought the railroad to Miami, giving the city its life. Today, 70% of the population is Hispanic. Since the Cuban Revolution of 1959 brought a wave of Cuban exiles to these shores, Miami has grown into the most tropical, most vibrant city in North America, where English and Spanish flow together in every conversation. Mexico City, Guadalajara, Monterrey, Dallas, Houston, Kansas City, Los Angeles, San Francisco, Seattle, Vancouver, Toronto, Boston, New York, Philadelphia, Atlanta, Miami. From the ancient Aztec capital to the birthplace of independence. From the invention of Hollywood to the innovation of Silicon Valley. Each city carries its own history into the 2026 World Cup. The final destination of this journey through 16 cities, New York. On July 19, 2026, the champion of the world will be crowned here. Which city, which match, will be forever etched in your memory?